And hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're inside of 9 Biomes Parkour. This map appears to like it's going to be pretty cool. Looks like it's going to be a lot of just, I don't know, parkour. I know, shocking, right? Yeah, so supposedly this map's supposed to be pretty difficult. Looking up, it definitely gives off the appearance that it might end up being fairly difficult. I don't know, we'll see. So far, fairly difficult jumps have definitely been included. Only thing is it does weird me out how far it stretches from side to side. Like, it feels like, I don't know, it just looks like there would be a way up over there, even though I don't think there actually is. Which is really trippy. But yeah. Boom. Yeah, I don't know how long this map's gonna take. We'll see. Can be placed on block of emerald. Can break green wool. Okay. Oh, it's a checkpoint. This can be placed on emerald blocks, but not diamond blocks. So I don't know where we would even go from here, unless the map's messed up in terms of what block you're able to place it on. Because, yeah, this looks exactly like where you would put, said ladders. I may be dumb, but I think I'm going to have to just do that. Because I'm pretty sure that that's messed up. But I'm not positive. I might have messed up there, but still. Also, I will say the rules for this map are hilariously redundant. Like, the rules are here. Let me just pull this up. Don't cheat, optional. Game mode adventure, don't break the rules. First off, rules 1 and 3 completely contradict. From the standpoint of 1 says that it's optional, but then 3 is just the same rule, just without the optional. Okay, how in the world am I supposed to get up from here? Unless I'm supposed to head down to here, and then to here, and continue my way around, just over here now. Okay. This is a really interesting map. I feel like this is a great example of a map that somebody clearly took a really long time to make it. Whoops, that stinks. Somebody clearly took a really long time to make it. They worked hard on it, but at the same time, it's clearly a sort of map that didn't really utilize many commands or anything like that. Like, I doubt that world edit was used besides maybe just for the sides of all of it. That would be the only spot I'd assume based off how this map looks and just stuff like that. Like, overall, it just really gives off the feel of a map that somebody spent quite a while on, but it didn't use many commands and stuff like that. Which is it's almost kind of sad thinking about the fact that most of the maps that can be made with the most skill at this point in time are pretty much all just ones used with commands. Like, for example, the Blue Man makes some of the best parkour maps nowadays. If you've ever watched some of the stuff on his video on his channel, he very clearly oh no, does not well, like, he makes it a point specifically to mention that he doesn't have to work all that hard to make his maps. Like, some people when playing him were talking about how much hard work and dedication he must have put in, and then he made a whole video basically going, yeah, nah, mostly world edit and commands and stuff like that. Which, I mean, obviously for, you know, some of the commands and stuff, somebody has to program it somewhere, right? Somebody did put in quite a bit of work for that stuff. But still, like, there's something... I don't know if it should be, but there's something kind of sad about the fact that maps like this are being outweighed by the more technological maps, if that's a way to put it. Where in the... I'm blind. But, I don't know. I don't think it's all that sad. Like, there's a little bit of me that's kind of like, yeah, it kind of stinks for the people that, you know, put in a lot of effort and end up having their maps beat out by people that were able to do it much quicker with much less work. But at the same time, you know, once again, you have to learn how to use the stuff, and, you know, it's not like it's impossible. Oh, wait, 3 ladders. 3. I was supposed to go here, not... Oh, I'm guessing I get a ladder for the, whatchamacallit, for the diamond block later. I think I actually, yeah, I messed up. That's my bad. I think I just kind of presumed that the map had messed up on that one because I've played so many maps where they set stuff like that up incorrectly. So I just kind of presumed it was one of those cases. Are there invisible blocks here? But yeah, I just kind of ran under the assumption that that was the case. Can I make it around there? Yeah. That's just so you don't walk over to there. That's really obnoxious. Oh, yeah, I've been here before. Yeah, I almost guarantee all this is for a ladder that goes on a diamond block, if I had to guess. Since I cheated the system on accident, I'm going to just, you know, catch all up. Boom. This is my ladder that can be placed on block of diamond. No wonder this water block's here. Okay, okay. That makes so much more sense. I feel better knowing that I did it anyway. But yeah, that was my bad. I've just played so many maps that have messed up stuff like that. That is just kind of my default assumption whenever I see something like that. Where like, oh, they gave me ladders that can be used on block of emeralds. Oh, it's block of diamonds here. They probably messed that up. Just because a lot of map creators do mess up stuff like that. So you just kind of run into that assumption at some point. Because you see it so often that, you know, it's a bit hard not to run under the assumption at some point or another. Anyway, we got it now. I'm going to have to be careful for invisible blocks, apparently, in this area. I hate invisible blocks. Like, there are a few things in Minecraft I hate more. And it's not because, like, when they're used properly, I don't have any problem with them. It's just because they're used improperly so often, and it gets old. Going through spots where you 100% should be able to pass, and the map, for the sake of, you know, making it more difficult, puts invisible blocks. It's just rather frustrating. Am I supposed to try and go down into there? Wait. Where would I go from here? Wait. Is this one of those? I'm gonna first see here. Let me just get into here. Oh, a stone button that can be placed on a block of iron. Right there. Cool, cool. Let's go. We are now in the next section. Ow. I'm gonna have to parkour up the cacti. Ow. The map didn't make it clear if it's supposed to be on peaceful or anything like that. It's on peaceful by default. Okay, okay. Yeah, not a big deal then. Just wasn't sure. It feels like we're regenerating a bit slowly for peaceful, but that's fine. Boom. All these slime blocks probably going to come into play later. Well, maybe not, but... Oh, definitely. No. Ow. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna have to walk back over to the desert section. Okay, it starts with a button there. I was gonna say. It's really intriguing though. Like the idea of ultimately your goal is to go up in the middle section, but to get the stuff to go up, you have to pick up stuff from the side section. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Not like the most pressing thing. Whoops. Sorry guys, that's my bad. I didn't have Discord on streamer mode. Every once in a while I make that mistake. Okay, cool. Oh, green wool. Very nice, very nice. Let's see, I gotta get OBS back up. Hey, bales. And now we take iron bars. Bam. Bam. This is really trippy. I do like the difficulty of the map so far, though. Like, it's at a good point where it's not like overly difficult. Oh, this leads me up here. Intriguing. Yeah, it's not like overly difficult, but it's not overly easy either. Like, it's more on the difficult end than the easy end, for sure. But it's definitely not too difficult, you know? Like, is that a good balance point? Okay. Now we got some sort of mesa section. Lava's a roof. That's trippy. Wait, where would I go up? Maybe the middle? It's one of these. I hate these. They always seem to be in a position where it's like you can just barely reach the thing you're looking for if you're in the exact position. Is it just straight ahead? What? I'm so confused. I hate these so much. I always find that, like, I can't do them. Let's... Okay, one sec, guys. I've been bamboozled. I went into spectator mode and there's nothing down there. I hate those. I always spend so long looking for stuff in them, and then sometimes there's not even anything there. Anyway. Wait. Can I? Oh yeah. I don't think this is the path I'm supposed to be taking, but you put it within my reach map. This isn't cheating. I don't think. Yeah, I don't know how far ahead I've skipped in the parkour. I don't even know if I'm heading the right direction for sure. But okay. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Oh, it looks like there were ladders on the side of there that I was supposed to take. Whoops. You know what? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm actually curious. Where would I go up? These cacti. Boom. I hate how much the damage is like bobbing me up on this cacti. Ah! Come on, I want to make it the way the game intended. Like, it's fun and all to take the large skips, but it can be nice to beat a game as intended. Like, that's actually one thing that's really interesting to me. Like, I've mentioned before that I've been watching Small Ant videos recently. And he's very much so a speedrunner. And plays games with that mindset. Like, even when he's playing... Oh, that was what I thought. Even when he's playing games casually, he does a lot of speedrun skips and, you know, stuff like that. And specifically plays games with the intent to... You know, even when he's just messing around, he still, you know, does skips that, you know, would typically only be done in a speedrun and stuff like that. And to me, it's a really interesting way of playing games. I don't think it's a way of playing games that I'd ever be able to strongly get into. Like, it's part of the reason why I don't think I could ever do actual speedrunning is I enjoy when I finish a game getting a sense that, you know, like I completed the game as intended. And to me, that doesn't include playing through every secret level and every, you know, special thing off to the side. But it does include playing through every, like, base level in a game. And, Okay, that made me nervous. But it does include, you know, playing through every base level and not, you know, really cheating to get past stuff. Like in a situation where if it's between having to quit the map because I can't, or game because I can't do it, or cheating, I'm more likely to choose the cheating route just because I'd rather, you know, get the chance to still play through the game or whatever, even if I'm not good enough to actually play through it. But, ooh, this is trippy. Like, I feel like with stuff like large skips and stuff like that, that I'm not playing through the game properly when I do a bunch of them. So, like, as a result, when it comes to, you know, skips, even if I find them, a lot of times I'll still play through the game the way I'm supposed to, kind of. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Oh, there's got to be some spot where I can put water down for a checkpoint, right? Something in that chest there might have something to do with that. Let's just go ahead and head to the middle. See what's there. Can be placed on lapis lazuli blocks, which are where currently? Oh, it's over there by the gold pile. So yeah, like sometimes I'll bump into a skip and play with it, but like if I'm in a, you know, wanting to complete a game, like if completion is one of the things I'm worried about while I'm playing through, I don't like to ever do any skips or anything like that. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. And it's a really different way of playing games than, you know, speedrunners do. And I don't think any style's more right or more wrong. I think it's just a matter of, you know, we do what we enjoy the most when playing games, and, you know, somebody that's more likely to speedrun typically have a different interpretation than me of what's fun to do in a game. And for them, you know, a lot of times that includes getting through a game at a faster pace and, you know, skipping what you can and all that. And, like, I have a lot of respect for speedrunners, especially ones that, you know, can do stuff like, say, beat Minecraft in 13 minutes and stuff like that, where it's just like, you know, it's really impressive. But at the same time, you know, like when it comes to other skills in Minecraft, like I bet very few speedrunners that have a top 13 place can build super efficiently or stuff like that. So it's like, you know, I respect them for what they're doing, what they do. They just have a different outlook on, you know, what the proper way to play is. Come on. This spot's difficult. And also, you know, like parkour, for example. It's a different way to play the game of Minecraft than, you know, a typical route. Boom. Sometimes I wonder, you know, as I'm talking about stuff like this, sometimes we try too hard to find the morality in games, right? Why is there invisible blocks? Oh, it's probably off of the behind the fence or the ladder that the invisible blocks right, and I'm just hitting them as I'm going by. But like to some degree, it's just a game. We should you know, it's for the sake of enjoying it that it was created. You know, they were created so people could enjoy them. And like, you know, some people that overly try to find the morality in games and stuff end up doing stuff like, for example, getting over with Bennett Foddy. Like, it's out of all of the games I've played, you know, that's one of the ones that I respect. Like, I respect the reasoning behind the making of the game the least out of pretty much anything I've played. Like, he's playing it for this idea. I mean, he made it for this idea of what games should be, that they should be difficult, and, you know, you shouldn't be able to get over them just with enough time trying. And I think there's 100% room for games like that, you know. But I don't think that every game should have to be that way. Like with strategy games, like Pokemon. Well, Pokemon's, you know, a bit. It's still kind of in that genre, but more like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. They are very much so set up in a sense where if you put in more time without getting better at the game, but you just put in more time, you'll make it pass, because you'll, you know, level up enough that you'll be able to get past the, you know, challenges, whatever they are. And, you know, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think there's any point in trying to find anything wrong with it, because, you know, it's a game. And the most fundamentally important part is that you have fun. And now I have to go all the way back up to there. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. But yeah. And, you know, some people enjoy different types. And, like, it's funny because I am a sort of person that enjoys the type of game that the only way to get past it is to get better at it. You can't just put in more time and expect that to, without improving your skills at it, and expect that to get you past. Like, you can't do that with parkour, you know. So like it's kind of funny to me that the type of gameplay that I enjoy the most is so close to the ideals that he has for the sort of game, but yet at the same time I completely disagree with his ideals and on what gaming should be and stuff like that. And part of the reason why, you know, I talk about getting over it with Bennett Foddy so much is because, you know, I recognize that that's the sort of game that I enjoy, but I also recognize that all of the reasons for it are, in my opinion, wrong. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. Oh, I almost failed that jump. But yeah, I feel like for games that are made for the sake of enjoyment, we focus too hard on the specifics of, you know, what's right and what's wrong for, you know, how a game should be made. And it's like, did hear yourself, right? You included the word game in there. I don't know. And obviously it's different for people that, you know, their job is involved in it. Because then, you know, you do rely on it more if it's your job than you do if you're just playing a game. No, that's the one I failed, not the super. But yeah, I don't know. It's just really hard for me because, as I was saying, I, you know, enjoy that sort of gameplay. The sort of, you know, the two sort of games I do the most, Minecraft Parkour and FPS games, you know, both are set up where if you want to, you know, get higher, get better, you have to actually get better at the game. You can't just level up some character stats and go from there. But yeah. It's funny to me. But at the same time, like, getting over it, I feel like there should be one distinction made. It's not as much of a skill-based game as a rage game, and I think there's an important distinction in that. Like, skill-based games are made in mind with the idea that you'll have to improve and get better to advance. And a lot of times they're set up in a way to allow you to improve and advance without, you know, being overcome with despair or anger from not being able to, you know, get anywhere. Whereas rage games are more made in the sense of, you know, they're made specifically so that they're difficult and almost impossible to achieve. Like, they're made in mind not to improve the player playing them, but instead to annoy them and make them angry. And I feel like getting over it definitely aligns more with the rage game genre. Because, as, you know, Bennett Foddy talks about, well, he's, you know, going on with the map. He had levels that, you know, were overtly, or not levels, but areas that were overtly difficult, and he recognized that they were overly difficult compared to what you should expect anybody to be able to do after just picking up the game. But yet, he didn't make them easier. He didn't add more of a buffer zone between those levels in the beginning to give you more time to learn the controls and the ways that the guy in the cauldron moves and stuff like that. Which I feel like it would have made the game very different if there was more time between the really difficult stuff and the beginning to get more of a grip and learn what you're doing. I feel like that would have been actually, funny enough, closer to the ideal that he professes to have on gaming in general. Because it gives you a chance to learn. It gives you a chance to improve your skills in yourself instead of just some character on the screen stats, right? But instead, the game's made specifically to try and make it so that you can't succeed. I also love how they had to put a sign here saying this jump is possible. Like, duh, it's pretty obvious. But yeah, and once again, I know I talk about it a lot, probably more than I should, but it's just such an interesting dynamic, and I don't know, it's just really interesting to me, like, just the ideas of, you know, what incorporates a game, what makes a good game, and stuff like that. And it's questions that, you know, I've asked myself a lot, you know, especially when I'm making judgments on whether, say, a parkour map's good or not. You know, what exactly entails a good game? And, you know, I feel like from that sense, there's two kind of sort of games. There's games that are more based off of the skill of the character in game, like games, you know, that are very, like, kind of like turn-based strategy games that involve heavy leveling and like MMOs, stuff like that, that are much more reliant on, you know, the game to give you abilities as you go and stuff like that, and it's less about you actually achieving something as you go. And then you got more games that are based on the skill of the player, you know, that are more based around whether the player is good enough to succeed. You know, stuff like a lot of FPS games are like that. A lot of, you know, games like parkour related stuff. You know, Minecraft Parkour very much so lines up more like that. So I do think that's, you know, a distinction to make when making a game, and also when playing a game is to keep in mind what you're going for on that. But like the thing that I feel like he specifically misses really heavily is the point of gaming for many people. And as I was kind of mentioning this before, I think it comes down a lot to the fact that his job is, you know, in gaming. He makes video games, right? And as a result, he's, you know, in a very different position than somebody that, you know, is only involved in the gaming world casually. But yeah, I think a lot of what he misses is the fact that most people that play video games don't play video games because they aspire to become some pro gamer or have great skill in games or whatever. No, they play the game to have fun and to relax. Like, for a lot of people, most people I know that play video games, for that matter, play them as a relaxing method, kind of after, you know, maybe a long day of school, long day of work, whatever, you know, relax and play some games. And, you know, from that standpoint, I have to go all the way back again. For those sort of people, you know, games that are more set up in a line where, yeah, after you play for long enough, you'll beat it regardless of whether or not you've really improved, are just more enjoyable. And, like, the other thing about it is those are the sort of games that don't have competitive scenes and stuff like that because, you know, they're not really made to be all that competitive. And some games, you know, like, for example, Pokemon became popular enough that they still end up with one despite that. But even then, you know, it's set up in a way where it is more based off of the players making correct decisions and stuff like that than just being able to go, oh, well, I spent an extra hour than you grinding, so as a result, you know, I did better. It's not the sort of thing that happens. To a degree, though, I think I'm too caught up in all of it, specifically like, you know, with thinking about getting over it and stuff like that, where it's like ultimately, you know, what do you expect from as a game from somebody that's in a headspace of gaming set up wrong, right? Like, you're obviously not going to end up with a typical game from it. But yeah. I mean, there's a reason why there's casual gamers. And, you know, there's a reason why there's professional gamers. Like, I don't know. It's just a lot more complex than he gives it credit for. It's not a straight black and white line. Like, games that rely on skills of the character in game are bad, and games that rely on the skill of the person playing are good. There's no, you know, straight up comparison to be made there. In the same way that there's, you know, nothing to be made of people that think that all games are bad simply because they're games, and, you know, anything that's productive is good simply because it's quote-unquote productive as they see it. I'm going to give this one more try. If I die in the lava again, I think I'm going to call this map quits. This is painful. I might come back to it, though. More difficult maps are fun. Yeah, well, and, you know, I'm also probably a bit biased on this end just because I've been in both positions. Like, growing up, I very much so would prefer games that you could beat simply by leveling up a character in game. Those were more fun for me because I wasn't, you know, good at video games, and I didn't really have all that interest in becoming good at video games at the time. So, like, you know, at the time, I very much so preferred games like Pokemon, where you could grind for 6 hours and then you could have a team capable of beating whatever came upon you at the time, regardless of really what moves you picked or had. And then, you know, nowadays I'm pretty much in the opposite boat, where it's like, you know, I very much so prefer to play games that, you know, are more based around improving at something yourself and, you know, getting better at it. But the other thing about that is what got me into, I fell on that again, into that sort of games style was doing a lot of YouTube stuff, doing a lot of, well, more lately, getting into, you know, competitive gaming scenes and stuff like that, where, you know, it's very different from the way I looked at gaming in the past, but yet I still recognize that the people that aren't interested in making money from it and are just interested in hobby don't really need to have any reason to greatly improve at it. It's like somebody that, you know, doesn't play basketball with any hopes of ever hitting a pro league or of ever, you know, doing anything beyond just shooting hoops in their backyard and, you know, maybe sometimes occasionally playing with friends. Like, true, they might try to improve at it a bit, but for the most part, people like that are, you know, not particularly interested in getting good at it. They're just interested in having a good time doing it. And, you know, I think that's important to notice with gaming and stuff like that, just because of the many similarities that can be drawn between gaming and sports in the first place. So yeah. Any question like this, though, that's kind of based around, the morals of anything can be really complex to tackle. And a lot of times doesn't have a right answer. Like, there are a lot of answers involved, but it's hard to say that there's a correct answer in all of it that, decides it. But I think the fact that there's not really a straight up correct answer kind of actually further proves my point that, it is something that depends on what your goals are and playing and stuff like that. Like, it's a very subjective thing on, what makes a good game, what makes, a game fun. Because you can't just say that, if a game makes you mad, it's a bad game. Like, there's been some great rage games that, people remember very fondly and stuff like that. So, it's hard to say that just having fun while playing is the only thing that matters at the same time, because many people play rage games and, they might not enjoy them while they're playing them, but afterwards they look back fondly upon them. Okay, real quick here. I'm going to just look one more time. There's no, like, green carpet or green wool anywhere that I can just break and, let some water loose that'll then create a checkpoint for me. No, nowhere. Okay. Fine. I think that's what really makes this map so difficult, is the lack of checkpoints and the fact that a fall here guarantees a complete reset. Like, if you fall into the lava, it's a complete reset, which is so painful and stinks. So yeah, I'm going to end this one off here. This has been kind of painful. At least I got to, have the moment to talk about, I guess, the philosophy of gaming. But, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. God bless. Bye-bye.